Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of a playthrough here now, just 3 or 4 rounds, to kind of give you a sense of how the game plays. So, first of all, what I've got set up here is a quest scenario. This is a little bit like one of the ones that's in the rulebook, but I've kind of improvised this using other boards. But essentially, what you're going to do on this scenario is collect one of each of the different items on the board here. So we've got a pink crystal, yellow, green, and these gold quest marks here. So the first player to collect all 4 of those is the winner. Each player can carry only 2 of them at the time, and while carrying them, they can be stolen from you if a player is adjacent. So if I'm adjacent to Rock here, and Rock is carrying the green crystal, and I'm Forest, I can just snatch this away and then carry on with my move. So one of the other important things to note is that while moving in Quodd Heroes, pushing is fair play. So if I am Forest Stump and I start my move by tumbling this way, I can push Rock into the pit. So pits are these black spaces, as you might have noticed. And when you fall into a pit, you basically die, and you're going to respawn at the nearest checkpoint. So the checkpoints are these face symbols that are on the board. However, the important thing to note is that you can only respawn at a face symbol that is completely surrounded, so attached to another board, and it has to be the nearest one. If there's a tie, you can choose. So in the case of if I fell into this pit, I could respawn at this checkpoint here, or this one here. So pushing is highly encouraged if you're into that sort of thing. Okay, so at the start of the game, you're going to set up the scenario, read the specific rules for the scenario. Like in this case, you can only carry 2 items at a time, and you have to drop them off at these 2 spots. So if you're carrying something and you land on one of this space here or this space here, you drop them off and complete the quest, and then you would mark with the appropriate token on your player board and these lock symbols to show that you've completed that quest. The first one to have all 4 wins the game. So play alternates between players. And so you do a die roll to see who goes first, that kind of thing, and then you place your character on the board in the place that you would like to start, with your Q up and eyes facing north, and the compass is here on this start board. So north is that way. So we face in toward the board, and I'm going to put Forest here because I'm going to try to get to that crystal, and I'll put Rock here because I want to try to get there, and you cannot start on the compass. So we will let Forest go first since he's on the left, and I don't get to upgrade yet, so I set up my board in the best way I can here. I will put dash here on my feet and tumble on my back. So I don't have any cards in my hand, so I don't get to play any cards. So I'll start my move by doing this and tumbling. And then I activate what my back is. In this case, it's tumble again, so I can tumble in any of the directions now with my move, but I'll tumble forward. And then I activate, because my cube is changing faces, what's on top, which is in this case my feet. So I get to dash again. So dash is a free move in one space with each movement point. So I'll go here. So I have activated I've activated the top face of my character. Now my movement phase is over, and I go to the exploration phase at the end of my turn. And I can take 1 card because I have 1 card symbol in my upgrade track right now. So I'm going to take, I'm going to take Glitchy Portals, the item card. So this will go into my hand because I can't play cards that I drew this turn yet. So I will take this and place it in my hand. Then after the end of the exploration phase for a particular player's turn, the card flips over from the top of the deck to refill the lineup. Now it is Rock's turn. So again, Rock has no cards in his hand. It's the first turn, and he can move 1 space with each of his movements, so I'll just begin. So forward, I don't even know how I set this up here. So he has diagonal slide on his back, so I can move diagonally here, 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 or here. I'll go here since I want to get to this green crystal. So diagonal slide here, and then I activate the board because the board is there, and I slide one space there. Now, my movement phase is over since I've completed the activation of my movement skill, and I will explore with Rock. Rock is going to take the Runekin pet. Items and pets are valuable because you get access to them every turn, and Runekin says, copy a rune you play. So when I play a rune card, I can use the ability twice instead of just once. So I'll put this in Rock's hand. Now it's the end of a round. Wait, we'll flip over a card. And it's time for us to choose an upgrade. So I'll start with Forest here. And one of the strategies that I tell new players to do is to start by choosing the simple upgrades, which give you more cards and movement. So the first 3 upgrades for each player have the card symbol on one side and a move symbol on the other. So I think early on I'm going to have Forest concentrate on movement. So I'll choose the number 1, although I could have chosen another one, movement upgrade, and I'll place it here on my board. And now you can see that I have 2 move symbols in my upgrade track. So now all of these skills here can move up to 2 spaces. I'll take a different strategy with Rock, and let's have Rock go for cards. So now he's still going to only move 1 space with each of his movement skills, but at the end of his turn he's going to take 2 cards. And one of the interesting things is that there certainly is an advantage to moving, but cards can really make up for a lot for lack of movement, because they can enhance your movement and give you other options. So how you want to play is completely up to you. So that's the end of the first round. Then what will happen if we were playing with world events, and we're going to do that for now, is we play a world event. So at the end of each round, the top card of the world event deck is red, and whatever it says happens. So we'll just take the top card here, and it says Earthquake. Rotate each board clockwise. So that's 90 degrees. So I'm going to pick up this board and rotate it in 90 degrees like so. And do the same thing with this one. So suddenly our 2 characters, our 2 miniatures here, are very far apart. It doesn't really change the landscape specifically to each player, but the orientation to the objectives and that kind of thing is going to make a big difference throughout the game whenever that sort of thing happens. So okay, so we carry on. Second turn. Now we have access to cards. I am going to play this item card that Forest Stump has, which is called Glitchy Portals, and lets me place a teleporter token on the board in range 4 each turn. So play that, and I'm going to decide where I want to put this teleporter token. So if I look at my character here, I know that when he tumbles forward, which is kind of where I want to go, it's going to get me onto my face, and my face is jump. The problem is jump is going to make me jump over top of this crystal and not actually claim it. So if I place this teleporter within 4 spaces, 1, 2, that's 3 right here, it means that I can teleport when I land on this thing, which will then hopefully let me claim the crystal I want. So I'll start my movement now since I placed my token, and my face says jump, and I can jump over 2 spaces. So technically I could land here, but I want to land on a teleporter, so I'll just jump over 1. Then the way teleporters work is I roll a d6 and I move that number of spaces that shows up in any direction. The exception is that if you roll a 6, the teleporter explodes and nothing happens. So let's hope we don't get a 6. I got a 4. So I can move anywhere within 4 spaces, counting orthogonally of my current position. So if I want, I can claim this gold question mark, or I can just grab this one. So I'm just going to go here and grab one of these, and I'll take matching token and place it next to my board. Since I haven't actually completed the quest yet, it just sits next to my my board. So that ends his movement, since he is teleported onto there and he's already activated his face. And I will explore 1 card. So Glitchy Portals, what's going to go well with that? Let's see, what am I going to do on my next turn? I can diagonal slide, or I can use a normal slide. I will take an earth rune, which lets me make a tunnel. And so once I get a tunnel network going, it's going to help getting around it'll help me get around the board a lot more quickly. All right, it's Rock's turn. So Rock wants to get to this crystal, or that one, but I think we have a shot at this one. So his feet are also jump, and that's going to be a problem. So let's see what card he has. He has copy a rune you play, and unfortunately I have no other cards in my hand but this, but I'll play this anyway, so that when I get a rune I can copy its effect. So, I'm going to do something a little different here. Instead of doing the obvious thing and tumbling forward, I will tumble backwards, and that water will push me here. Then I'll activate my Q, and my Q says build or break a wall within, within a range 7. The range is not written on there, but the range is 7 for the character abilities. So I'm going to place a wall right here, and the reason I'm going to do that is it will stop that water from pushing me beyond that on my next turn, and I'll be able to grab that crystal hopefully. So I have placed a wall, and then I get to plan my movement skills. So, my back is currently diagonal slide, so that wouldn't do me much good when I tumble forward next turn. So I need to put something else on my back. I will put tumble there, and then I will tumble back this way to claim the crystal. So whatever is on my left arm here should be something useful as well. I'm going to go with dash, which is already there anyway. So I've set myself up for my next turn. Now I'm going to explore 2 in my exploration phase. Oh, this should have been replaced. So, So I've got the choice of 3 different food cards or 2 runes. I'm going to take the 2 runes because I really like how they affect the game. So we'll flip 2 more cards over, and that's the end of another round. So as you can see, the rounds go pretty quickly. If I'm not talking, in fact, it would go much more quickly. But because the turn structure is quite simple, there are sometimes some decision making that's going to take a little bit longer to figure out exactly how you're going to play your cards and that kind of thing. But the game moves quite quickly once you've played it a few times. So now we're all going to upgrade again, and I'm going to have Forest. He's just going to add another move again. So this time I'm going to add the level 3 movement upgrade, which looks like this. And let's see if we can see it. And it says change directions on one side, on the movement side. On the other side it says look at the top card of the deck. So if I chose the card side, I would get an additional card, but I would also get to look at the top card of the deck before I take it. So when you're exploring, you can always take the 5 cards from here, or you can take the card from the top of the deck. This lets me know what that card is, so I know if I want to take it. So that's kind of handy. But I actually like the change directions on this side. So that means that all of these skills, which would normally be linear, so I would have to, say, slide up to 3 spaces in a straight line. Now I can change directions with each point of movement. On a slide can go so here, then here, for example, like that. So that's actually quite a powerful ability to have. So Rock, what is he going to choose? Is he going to stick with cards, or will he add a little bit of movement? And there's also lots of other options on your upgrades. Once you get beyond the upgrades numbers 1 through 3, they're all very unique abilities to your character. But we'll stick with the simple ones for now, and we'll give him. This one has a card on one side and movement on the other. So I'm going to go with movement this time. So now he can move up to 2 spaces and he'll take 2 cards. So kind of a balanced approach. Then we read the world event, and this one says special delivery. Each player chooses it and takes a token type. Then each player gives that token to the player on their left. In turn order, each player places the token anywhere, unlimited range. So that's interesting. So basically means that Forest has to choose a token to give to Rock, and Rock has to choose one to give to Forest. There are some other token types that I don't have out here, but I'll just stick with the ones that I've got. And, interesting. So I think Forest is going to give Rock a wall or broken wall tile, because he can't really do a lot of damage with that. Although, because you can place them anywhere, Rock could decide to place it directly in front of Forest and change his options, but we'll take that risk. And Rock will give Forest a spring. Okay. So this this illustrates some fun aspects. So now we'll start by Forest placing his token. So he could use this spring to help himself. So what a spring does is you land on a spring and then you jump over one space as if you had a jump of one in a direction of your choice. So I could place this for Forest to tumble onto and get him somewhere where he wants to go. Or Forest could place this somewhere to stop Rock from getting where he wants to go. And for the sake of fun, I'm going to place it right here, which means Rock is going to tumble forward and then he's going to have to jump one of these directions or here in order to start his turn. So it's going to mess up what he wants to do. Potentially. Of course, Rock is a clever guy and he can probably find his way out of it. So then Rocky will take his wall and he will place it. Interesting conundrum. So he'll place it here to stop Forest from tumbling that direction and trying to get this yellow crystal. So let's see if they can each get out of this trouble spot here. So starting with Forest. Forest does have this glitchy portal still, so he can drop another teleporter if he wants somewhere on the board to try to get where he wants to go. So if he tumbles forward, that gives him his diagonal slide, which gets him to there potentially. Yep, I'm going to place the teleporter right there. So Forest will tumble forward and his right side is diagonal slide. So he's going to go plunk onto the teleporter and roll a d6 and get a 1. That is kind of a bummer, but that's what happens. So I can move one space in any direction. I guess I'll move here, which gets me a little bit closer to where I want to go. Then I have this Earth Rune, which I could have played before I moved, but I'll just save it. So end of turn, I'm going to explore one card. Oh yes, I totally forgot that. Oh well. I could have moved farther with my diagonal slide, and I can change directions, so I could have gone here, 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 excuse me, and had a much more fruitful move, but even the designer forgets his options sometimes. Alright, so I will explore one card. I think a second rune is a good choice, because then I can make a tunnel that will actually get me somewhere. Or this is Crusher, which lets me break walls as I move through them, but I don't see a lot of walls on my half of the board, so I'm just going to leave that for now and take the Earth Rune. Then this gets replenished, and it is Rock's turn. So Rock has this spring in front of him that could be a problem. It was intended to be a problem by Forest placing that spring there, but let's see if we can outsmart him. Let's see what he's got in his hand. So I got a solution to this problem. So Earth Rune. Will that help me? It will. So I'm going to place a tunnel token on top of the spring token here. So you can't really see that, but there we go. I placed the tunnel here on the spring, which is completely legal. Even though this tunnel won't go anywhere, what it does is negates the spring. So place that, and then the cards I play go to the discard pile here. Tumble forward. I'm on a tunnel, but there's no other tunnel to use, so I can just stay where I am. And my back says tumble, so I will tumble here, claim the green crystal, put it next to my board. Now I activate my left side, which is a dash of 2. So I'm going to go here, 1, 2, and then this lets me explore a card immediately. So I will take this card here, which says Swift Root Grass, +2 to any movement skill. Quite a handy and useful card to have. So that doesn't get replaced yet because it's not the end of my turn. Now I will explore 2 cards because I get to do that. I'm going to take one off the top. That's useful. And I will also take another movement enhancing card here, Red Cow, which is +3 to dash. Okay, so I took this Red Cow here, which says +3 to dash this turn. So that'll do for the end of Rock's turn. And that's the end of another round, so we will upgrade again. So Forrest will choose to get cards this time, so he takes that one. And Rock, let's see, what does he want? Where's he at on the board here? This could be useful. So I'm going to jump out of the normal upgrades here and go with something more interesting. So one of this says explore a rune, main phase. I'll see if I can zoom in here. So it's a little bit small, but it says explore a rune on your main phase, which is useful because you can just grab a card. Let me just quickly replace these since I forgot to do that. So explore a rune in the main phase. On the other side, it says slide crush, which is I think what I want, because if I'm using my slide skill, that means that I can smash through these walls, and I would just put broken wall tokens there. So I'm going to take this one, and that also has this symbol on it here, which says flip over my slide tile. So my slide is right here, and on the back side it says crush slide. Can't really see that, but there we go. Okay, so upgrading is finished. We have a world event coming up, and it says Tech Breakthrough. Each player without an item in play reveals cards until they find an item card and puts that item into play. Okay, so Forrest already has an item here. As you can see, he has the glitchy portals, which has been quite handy. But Rock does not, so he gets to take an item card. And that's an interesting thing here, is that there is an item card here, which means I have to take the one from the line first. So this one is called Crusher, and it says, when you move, break through walls and tokens. So we'll just equip that right away, because, well, actually, no, that actually it does get equipped. And then we resume with the turn. So Forrest's turn. Forrest has one of the objectives. He wants a second one, and he wants to drop it off. So I don't think that can all happen in one turn, but let's find out what cards he has. So Forrest has the ability to make 2 tunnels here. So one of the rules, though, with tunnels is that once you pass through a tunnel, your movement ends. So even if you have movement points left on whatever skill got you onto that tunnel, your movement will stop when you get to the other side of the tunnel. There are cards, item and pet cards, or item or pet cards, I forget which exactly, but that allows you to move after tunneling. And there are upgrades, particularly with Rock here, because he's a digger. He has an upgrade that lets him move after tunneling, but Forrest doesn't have that ability, so let's see what we're going to do. So maybe what I'll try to do is set up a way to drop my crystals off once I've got them. So I will place one tunnel here, so it's within 9 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, next to the drop-off spot. And I'll place another one maybe here. Oh, I guess here, because then I can tumble and go back. So I'll place it here next to the crystal, so you can't really see that, but there it is. Now let's see it was like this, what we can do here with movement. So these 2 cards that I played go to the discard pile, and I will try to get through this. I also still have access to my glitchy portal here, which I'm not going to rely on this time. Let's see if I can figure my way through this, and I think I have already. So if I go this way with my tumble, my face is a jump, and I can jump over 3 spaces, but I really only need to jump over 1 to get that crystal. So that's what I'll do on my turn. So I'll tumble, and then my face is jump, and I'll jump right onto this crystal and put that next to my board. So now I've got 2 of the 4 items in his possession. Of course, they can still be stolen, but Rock is kind of far away. In a 4-player game, there would be a lot more stealing happening here, and there still might be some here before the game is through. So that ends his movement, since he jumped and landed on the crystal, and now he gets to explore 2 cards this time. This should actually have 2 up. That's an interesting one, but I don't have a lot of cards. Let's take I'm going to take this card. This is Thinkberry Juice, and it says, there's a big Q on it. It says activate your Q. What this does is lets you activate whatever abilities you have here on your Q without actually tumbling onto it. So that's actually quite handy. And in some scenarios, quests are completed by activating your queue. So once you've, say, visited a place or collected something, you activate your queue and you lock that, you complete that quest. So that's actually quite handy in those ones. But it's also useful in this scenario. So I will take a second card. I'm just going to grab one off the top at random. And that's handy because I got a pet. So those will go here, and we'll flip this up, and it's Rock's turn. Okay. I'm going to adjust the focus here again. There we go. And let's see what Rocky has before he moves here. He wants to get the pink crystal. He has a lot of ways to add to his movement skill. Can he get on his dash? Yes, he can, actually. So this should be interesting. So before I move, I'm going to play +3 to dash. Then I'm going to play +2 to any movement skill. That will also go on his dash. And I'm going to place a teleporter on the board with this Ether Rune. The question is, where do I want to put it? I know kind of what I want to do, but where do I want to go after that? I want to try to claim this crystal with my dash, which is now 1, 2, plus 5 more, 7. So I could potentially dash 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to put it here, and hopefully I didn't guess wrong, or I didn't calculate incorrectly. So let's see what's going to happen. So I will now start my move, and because I have Crusher, I can tumble directly onto the wall here, which will create some interesting things here. So my back is tumble, so I want to go this way, and that arrow is going to move me here. Now my back is up and my back is tumble, but I can move directly into walls, so I can tumble right onto this wall because I'm trying to get at my dash, remember. And my dash is on my left side, so I'll tumble here, which breaks the wall, and I'll replace that with a broken wall token. And now I can dash 7 because I enhanced my dash by 5 and it's already a 2. So I'll go 1, grab the crystal. 2 moves me to here and then spins me. 3, 4, 5. So I could have put that a little farther. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need a 4 or better on this teleporter to get to the drop-off spot. And I got a 6. Go figure. So the teleporter explodes, goes away, and nothing happens, and I stay right where I am. So I'm going to have to wait until my next turn, if I can, to turn those crystals in. However, I do see that my opponent has probably a good shot at getting to the drop-off spot this turn. I could rotate the board. The problem is he still has this tunnel there, so he's going to be able to get there no matter what. So I'm going to save my rotate for when it can help me. And these cards will go to the discard pile. And now Rock gets to explore 2 cards. I'm going to take this Cannon Rune, mostly so that I can show you guys what it does. And I kind of like this Red Cow last turn because it enhanced my dash. If I can get back on my dash this coming turn, that's going to be good for me. So we'll end the turn and put out 2 new cards, and these go to Rock's hand. So again, we're going to upgrade. Let's see. You may place tokens under you, or you may have 2 pets. That's handy. Or so Forrest has lots of abilities that relate to pets, and that's handy for him because often he can have more than 1 pet, which is normally not allowed. You can steal pets from other players. Slide build, that's also handy. I think I'm going to take the upgrade that says you may place tokens under you. There's a really good reason for that, which I'll explain in a moment. So normally tokens cannot be placed underneath your character because that allows instantaneous movement without actually activating by starting your movement phase by tumbling. So it allows you to sort of cheat the rules a little bit. But being able to place tunnels under you is a really good thing. So that's a good upgrade for Forest. So let's see if he has any. Doesn't have any cards that create tokens, so that's not useful. But he does have glitchy portals. And while he can't place it now because he's standing on a scenario token, so you cannot cover those up, he can maybe move and then hope he can drop a portal underneath himself after his move, and that'll get him to where he wants to go. So I'm going to play the pet first, even though I likely won't need it this turn. It says +2 to dash. That's a permanent addition to your dash, which is quite useful. And currently, Forest has dash on his feet, and unfortunately, if I tumbled toward my feet there, I would end up in a pit, which is not ideal. So I have access to diagonal slide. That actually gets me exactly where I want to go, so I don't need to do any fancy shenanigans. But maybe what I will do actually is I'll place a teleporter token within range 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll put it here. No, that's bad. I'm going to save. I'm not going to use it this turn. So I'll start by going here. And tunnels are optional, so I don't have to use the tunnel, and I'm not going to for this turn, because if I diagonal slide 3, I can go 1, 2, and because I can change directions, I can go 3 after. But first I'll stop there and complete these objectives. So this goes onto my player board, this goes back here, and I take the crystal token, which are over here. I take the crystal token that matches the one that I just dropped off. So this now will show that I have completed these 2 objectives out of the 4. So now these cannot be stolen from me because I have locked them, completed the quest. So but I still have 1 more movement point, so I'm going to go... I'll go here, because I'm hoping to use this tunnel to get over here to get the green crystal once Rock drops it off. So I get to draw 2 cards. I will take the Earth Rune, because that's useful. I like tunnels. And Jolt Cola. This is a really good card, and perhaps needs to be renamed, since that is a real product, but I believe it's defunct. So it says -1. Font is the wrong size here. That will be corrected. So it doesn't say add to your dash, it just says dash, which means I can use it to move myself outside of my movement phase. Quite a good card. So I'm going to finish that, and these 2 cards will flip up, and 2 very good cards just came up, which we'll take a look at in a moment. Let's fix the focus again. Okay, it's Rock's turn. So Rock is trying to get here to drop off what he needs, and I think that is a possibility. I have some fun stuff planned. So okay, so I'm going to play Red Cow, which adds to my dash, and I can get onto my dash again by tumbling and then coming back onto this arm. So that's what we're going to do. So my dash is now... Oh, I forgot to upgrade Rock. That's not smart. So yep, that's what I'm going to do. So Rock has the ability to discard a card to slide another hero. So that's going to be fun. So, all right, so that should have already been done, but we'll pretend I did it in the right order. So +3 to dash makes his dash 1, 2, 5. So I'm going to go like this, which is my back, which is tumble. Then I'll tumble 1. I could tumble 2, but I don't want to do that. I want to stop here because I want to activate my dash, which is 5. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll stop right there, and then I'll spin on this whirlpool. Okay, so now I'm going to do something interesting. So I will play, after my movement phase, Quake Rune, which says rotate a board 90 degrees. And I will rotate Rock's board, the one he's on, 90 degrees this way, which is going to put me right next to Forest. Oh, I should have moved 1 more space. Oh well. Then I have the Cannon Rune here, which I was going to place I should have placed it before I moved. That would have been more fun. But anyway, so what a cannon rune is, let's find it, is it makes a cannon token on the board. Cannon looks like this. Has a shooter part here, and it has a button. When you press the button, a cannonball blasts out and hits whatever is in the way or travels along the board. And if it hits something, it's going to blow it up or push players, that kind of thing. So, I was going to place it somewhere here so that I could shoot Forest immediately, but I need to step on this in order for it to work, and I can't place tokens under myself because I don't have that ability. So for now, I guess I will hold on to this cannon rune and put the cannon back. So that'll be in my hand, and I'll explore 2 cards. So Digger is really good, so I want that. And so Digger is just like an Earth rune, only I get to do it every turn in range 6. The range isn't quite as good, but it's still very powerful. And I will take a random card off the top, which is also a pretty good card. This gets flipped, and it is the end of another round. So the rounds, as you can see, go pretty quickly. I'm talking a lot and explaining rules, but really each turn is maybe 30 or 40 seconds, longer if you really need to plan. But So I'm going to take, this one's actually quite good. Trash your pet to steal range 4. So trash means remove from the game a pet that you have. And I get to steal, which is one of the an unlocked objective, from an opponent. So I actually did reach here to drop these things off, which I forgot to do. So these will repopulate here and here. And I'll take the appropriate matching tokens. So there and there. So now they each have 2 of them, including they both have the pink crystal claimed. And so we have upgraded one but not the other, so we'll put Rock here on change directions. That's useful. Now he'll get to move 3. And we'll read a world event. Adrenaline Rush. This round players may not play cards. Ooh, that's a bummer. Each player doubles the movement on one of their skills this turn. Okay, so that does make things interesting. So I'm going to adjust focus so we can see the board a little. And now it's Forest's turn. So Forest has a bunch of cards in his hands, which he can't play, because that's the rule for this round, thanks to the world event. And so he's focused only on movement. And he gets to double whatever it is, so... His dash 2 is plus already, so if I can get on my dash, which is my feet, it will be 2 plus 3 is 5, times 2 is 10, because it's doubled this turn, so that's pretty good. So I will go here, and it's a whirlpool, so I'll rotate. Now I can move 10 spaces. And I can't pass through the tunnel and then come out here to get the green one because that's not allowed. But I could get over here to this yellow crystal, which I need. I think that's what I'll try to do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to avoid that teleporter. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow, that was pretty epic. And kind of unusual to move so far in one turn. And I don't get to play the cards, but I still get to explore at the end of my turn. I'll explore 2. +1 to slide for each card in your hand. +2 to jump. I'll take Tangent Omatic and Potion of Roots. Okay, so I took 2 cards and replaced the cards back, and we've played through 5 rounds at this point. We can tell because we've got 5 upgrades, and we could basically stop there. I think we have a sense of how it works, but we'll finish this turn because Rock hasn't had his turn yet, and we'll see what happens. So once again, I don't get to play any of these cards. I do get to use any passive abilities that are on cards that I have. I just can't play new cards. So Rock's whole plan there was to do something mean to Forest, but I think he should be more concerned with winning here. But Forest does have a yellow crystal, which he wants, so if I can find a way to get to Forest, that would be a good thing. Although he's pretty far away, but I get to double his skill as well, so let's see. 3 movement times 2 is 6, so if I choose, say, Tumble, which is on his back, and I can change direction now, I might be able to reach him. Let's see. So Tumble here, which is then a tumble, but I get to tumble for 6. So let's try 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then his left arm is dash. Ooh, this is fun. So I can move now 6 spaces with my dash as well. 1, 2, 3. And because I'm adjacent to him now, I can steal this. 4, drop it off, and it goes back here. So that's actually kind of tricky. I've now completed that objective, and now I can move away to try to get the last one. 5, 6. So I'm very close to getting that one. And I don't get to play cards because I just don't, and that's the way it works this round. I will explore cards. I'm going to take the Kinetic Rune and Jasper. And Jasper isn't that useful to me now because he just lets me ignore walls, but I don't want my opponent to get it and be able to walk right through there on me. So I have 5 cards in my hand. There's a 5-card hand limit at the end of your turn, but I am okay since I only have 5. And I'll replace these 2. And that's the end of the round. So I'm going to leave you guys hanging here. This game would probably finish in the next round or 2. Forest, actually Rock I'm pretty sure could win the next turn, and Forest is now at a disadvantage because he needs 2 objectives, the green crystal and the yellow crystal, and they're kind of far apart now since Rock just had an epic turn there and stole it away from him. So it's kind of tough for him to win, but not impossible because now we get to use cards again. So I won't finish this game, but hopefully that gives you guys a sense of the kind of stuff that happens, and thanks for watching.